What's up guys, Tihus here with an archetype discussion from one of the new archetypes from Wing Raiders. It's called the Phantom Knights, and they're an anime archetype based around Xyz summoning, floating and beatdown. So let's look at them. First up we got the Phantom Knights of Dusty Robe. It is a level 3 Dark Warrior monster. Its effect is, if this card is in attack, you can target one Dark monster, change this card to defense, and then that target gains 800 attack until the end of your opponent's next turn. And you can banish this card from the graveyard, and if you do, add one Phantom Knights card from your deck to your hand. You can only use each effect once per turn. So obviously the on-field effect isn't brilliant, but its graveyard effect is pretty legit. It allows for searching for the other Phantom Knights. Next up we got the Phantom Knights of Silent Boots, level 3. If you control a Phantom Knight monster, you can special summon this card from your hand, and you can only summon Silent Boots like this once per turn. You can banish this card from the graveyard to add one Phantom spell or trap, except on the Phantom Beast from your deck to your hand, and you can only use each effect once per turn. So this is like the Kizan uses for swarming and making rank 3s, and the boss of the deck is a rank 3, so we'll see that in a second. Next up we got the Phantom Knights of Rugged Glove, another level 3. You can banish this card from the graveyard to send one Phantom Knight or Phantom card, except Horn and Phantom Beast, from the deck to the graveyard. A Dark Xyz monster summoned using this card is succeeding check against this effect. If this card is Xyz summoned, you can gain 1000 attack. You can only use each effect once per turn. So this sets up your other Phantom Knights for later. So that's really good as well. Next up we got a level 4, the Phantom Knights of Crackhelm. If a Phantom Knight or Phantom spell or trap except Horn of Phantom Beast is sent to the grave, this card gains 500 attack. You can banish this card from the graveyard, add one Phantom Knights card or Phantom spell trap from the grave to the hand during the end phase. You can use each effect once per turn. So this is kind of the worst main deck Phantom Knight monster, I think. It does boost itself a little bit, but it can only gain 500 a turn, and having a 2000 beat stick isn't brilliant. So it's not really that good, and its grave effect's not the best, so yeah, probably won't use that many of him. Next up we got the Phantom Knights of Fragile Armor, another level 4. If a Phantom Knight monster you control is destroyed by battle by card effect, you can special summon this card from the hand. You can banish this card from the graveyard and then send one Phantom Knight or Phantom spell trap card from the hand to the graveyard to draw one card. You can only use each effect once per turn. This is one of the better ones, actually, because you can send it to the graveyard with something and then send a Phantom Knight to your hand, move your deck quicker and set up their graveyard effects. So that's really, really good, and it works well with the Xyz Phantom Knights of Breaksword, which is a rank 3. Its effect is you can detach an Xyz material to target one card on each side of the field and destroy them. So it's basically scrap dragon. If this Xyz summon card is destroyed, you can target 2 Phantom Knights in your grave with the same level, special summon them and increase their levels by 1. Also you cannot special summon monsters for the rest of the turn except dark monsters. So you can destroy itself and go into a rank 4 like Master Kibi or Heroic Champion Rongomniad, which can have 3 materials if you summon Fragile Armor with its effect when you destroy Breaksword. So this is a really good boss monster. So I've mentioned the Phantom spells and traps which work with them, so let's have a look at those. So first one, which we've already actually got in TCG, is the Phantom Knights of Shadowvale. This is a normal trap. You can target one face-up monster you control, it gains 300 attack and defense, and when your opponent's monster declares a direct attack while this card is in the graveyard, you can special summon this card in defense position as a level 4 normal monster, which is a Dark Warrior with 0 attack and 300 defense. This card is not treated as a trap card. If summoned this way, you banish it when it leaves the field. So it's a tiny amount of boost for attack, which really doesn't make a lot of difference, but it can block direct attacks, so if your opponent's going to attack you directly with a Farm Girl, you can block it and save yourself a lot of life points and potentially stop an OTK. Next up we got Phantom Spear, the worst Phantom card. It is a continuous spell. Each time your opponent activates a card or effect which targets a Phantom Knight's monster you control, inflict 500 damage to your opponent immediately after it resolves. If a dark monster you control will be destroyed by battle or by card effect, you can banish this card from the graveyard instead. It is terrible, really. I wouldn't recommend running any. It's a bit like Voidseer, but Voidseer has a good field effect. Then we've got Phantom Fogblade, the best Phantom spell trap card in my opinion. You activate this card by targeting one effect monster from the field. Its effects are negated. It cannot attack, and also it cannot be targeted for 4 attacks. You can banish this card from the graveyard and then target one Phantom Knights monster from the graveyard, special summon it, but banish it when it leaves the field. You can only use this effect once per turn. It's a searchable Fiendish Chain that also acts like a Throne Grave monster reborn. So obviously staple at 3. Then we have Phantom Sword. It's another continuous trap. You activate this card by targeting one face-up monster in the field. It gains 800 attack. If it would be destroyed by battle or by card effect, you can destroy this card instead. When that monster leaves the field, destroy this card. You can banish this card from the graveyard, target one Phantom Knights monster in the graveyard, special summon it with this banish when this card leaves the field. You can only use this effect once per turn. So it's another From Grave monster reborn, but it also can protect your monsters somewhat and give them a nice attack boost to beat over stuff. So that's kind of nice. And then the final card is Phantom Wing. This is a normal trap. You target one face-up monster on the field, it gains 500 attack, and if you do once during this turn, it can't be destroyed by battle or by card effects. You can banish a card from the graveyard, target one Phantom Knights monster in the graveyard, special summon it, banish it when it leaves the field, you can only use this effect once per turn. So another From Grave Monster Reborn with an attack boosting effect. But it's still alright, 500 isn't that much, but it's a reasonable boost, and it can be used in damage step, and it can protect your monsters as well. Most of the Phantom traps are reasonable. So how is this deck going to be played? Well, I think in order to use it fully, they're going to need to use things like Kagemusha Knight to swarm the fields to be able to make rank 3s. So obviously Ray Karma is one of the better rank 3s to make later in the game, because you can just destroy opponent's card and then go into rank 4, as I said. But another good card which you can use is Dante, the Traveller of the Burning Abyss, obviously because all of the Phantom Knight monsters and traps and spells have a graveyard effect. So you can just mill 3 and then potentially swarm the field from there, and you have a 2500 attack beat stick as well, which turns into 2500 defense shield. So that's pretty good. Another rank 3 that might help out the deck is
Super Quantum Mecha Beast Grand Pulse.
The Super Quantum rank 3, which
is also in this set, and
has the effect of destroying spells and traps, so it can get rid of floodgates which you holding back, so things like Imperial Iron Wall or Shattering Prison Mirror, which would otherwise pretty much destroy the deck, can be got rid of with a 2800 defense wall and a rank 3 at that. Other things you can use in the deck, you could use discard traps like Karma Cut, like the original BA decks, because everything has a graveyard effect, as I said, and so it doesn't really minus you too much if you keep sending things to the graveyard. A thing that's really good about this deck in comparison to, say, Burning Abyss is you can trigger these effects at any time during your turn rather than just when they're sent to the graveyard. So you don't waste effects if you send multiple of the same cards to the graveyard, which is a bonus. And also the fact that they banish themselves means that you can reuse them with things like Miracle Dig and Bury from a Different Dimension, which is kind of nice if you want to make a comeback. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to this set. I think the deck could do quite well. In the LCG, they still have things like Lavaval Chain, so you know, I think the deck could do a lot better there, but I think it'd still be quite a fun deck to use here. But we'll have to see. So yeah. That's all I've got to say about the archetype. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you later.